Do we know who wrote the Bible or the Hadith? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today we are comparing the Sunan of Imam Ibn Majah with the Gospel of John. Not the contents yet. Only the question of authorship. The Gospel of John. Christians often point to the Gospel of John as the foundation for their beliefs about Jesus. But the truth is, we do not know who wrote it. The text itself never mentions the author's name. Not once does the writer say, "I am John, the disciple of Jesus." The title, according to John, was added later by church tradition. Bart Ehrman, one of the most well-known New Testament scholars today, makes it very clear the authors of the Gospels never identify themselves. It was only later that church fathers assigned the names Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He also points out that the Gospel of John, like the other Gospels, was written decades after Jesus by someone who was not an eyewitness. Raymond Brown, a respected Catholic scholar of John, explained that the Gospel did not come directly from the Apostle himself. Instead, it came from a Johannine community, a circle of his followers who shaped the book over time. D. Moody Smith, another leading Christian scholar, said it plainly. John is not history or biography in the modern sense. It is a theological work written to inspire belief, not to record events as they happened. And if you open John's Gospel, you can see signs of editing with your own eyes. Chapter 20 ends like a conclusion. These are written that you may believe, but then comes chapter 21, an entire epilogue that scholars widely agree was added later. That means the book was revised after the first version. So what does this prove? The Gospel of John was not written by John the Apostle. It is anonymous. It is theological. And it was shaped and edited by others after him. Now let's look at the other side. The Sunan of Imam Ibn Majah. Unlike the anonymous Gospel of John, we know exactly who Ibn Majah was. His full name is Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Yazid al-Qazwini. He lived in the 9th century in Qazwin, and he is known across the Muslim world as a scholar of Hadith. We know his teachers, such as Ali ibn Muhammad al-Tanafisi and Muhammad ibn Rum. We know his students, such as Ibn Sibawayh and Ibn Khuzaymah. We know his works, his Sunan, his Tafsir, and his history of Qazwin. We even know the year he died, 887 CE. All these details are not guesses. They are preserved in the books of Ilm al-Rijal, the science of narrators. This is a discipline unique to Islam, where scholars documented the biographies of every transmitter of Hadith, their honesty, their memory, their teachers, and their travels. That is why our scholars were always transparent about Ibn Majah's Sunan. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani said it contained many narrations not found in the other collections, though some were weak. Al-Dhahabi described him as a memorizer of Hadith, a trustworthy scholar, and said his Sunan became famous even though it included weak reports. Ibn Kathir praised him as a memorizer of Hadith and a scholar of Tafsir. And much later, Al-Albani went through the Sunan and graded its narrations, Sahih, Hasan, or Da'if. Showing the same transparency continued. So even a hadith collection that scholars openly admit contains many weak narrations still has clearer authorship and traceability. It is not anonymous, not hidden, not taken blindly. It has a known compiler, with a documented biography, and a collection built on full chains of transmission, examined and graded by scholars. Now let's put this side by side. The Gospel of John, anonymous author, not an eyewitness. Written decades later, theological in nature, and even edited after the first version. The Sunan of Ibn Majah, a known compiler, a documented scholar, with teachers, students, books, and a preserved biography in the science of Rishal. Every narration has a named chain, and scholars openly graded the reports for authenticity. One book rests on unknown authorship. The other rests on documented scholarship. That is why, even when Christians point to their Bible, we can say with confidence, even this debated hadith collection among the 6 major collections still has clearer authorship and traceability than the Gospel of John. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share.